Appalachian sunrise meets my skin. Even with my eyes still closed, I can feel it coming in. Golden, golden, I'll follow only golden, 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 golden things.
Hi, I'm Liv from NeuroStitches. NeuroStitches is an online community hosted on Discord connecting neurodivergent folks through fiber arts like knitting and crochet. I am autistic and ADHD, and I love to knit and crochet. I also like to attend fiber and yarn events. So today we are going to go into the 2025 Western North Carolina Yarn Crawl. I live in Asheville, North Carolina, which is kind of the center of Western North Carolina. And if you aren't aware, Asheville and Western North Carolina was hit extremely hard by Hurricane Helene last fall. It was devastating to our area and our local economy, and many people lost their lives, their homes. The devastation is still being felt by everyone in this area. And so this year, the annual Western North Carolina Yarn Crawls theme was After the Storm. And it was, the purpose of it was for all of us to come together and enjoy a yarn crawl and support our local yarn shops. And some of our local yarn shops, well, everyone was affected by the storm, but one organization in particular, Local Cloth, lost their shop location and are still rebuilding. So this year they had their stop for the yarn crawl was actually a little fiber festival. So I'm going to take you through all of the local yarn shop stops that I made, share my yarn haul with you, and kind of let you know what I'm planning to do with the yarn. Last year, I did not plan ahead, and I ended up with some random skeins of yarn that I still haven't used in any project. So this year I knew, so I needed to stick to a budget, and I also wanted to make something very special and unique this year, especially given the fact that this region was hit extremely hard by Hurricane Helene. And so I wanted to make something that incorporates unique things to each shop into one project. So I decided that I'm going to make a blanket, and my plan was to get a mini skein, or if I couldn't find a mini skein at a shop, a full-size skein of sock weight, fingering weight yarn, and I'm going to make a blanket and incorporate all the colors from each shop. I planned out each day, and I also knew, learning from my experience last year, that I needed to break up the stops. Because last year I pretty much tried to do the whole thing in like 2 days, and that did not work out. I did not make it to all because I was just burned out and exhausted, so I couldn't make it to all of them last year. So this year I knew that I needed to have a game plan going in, project-wise and also like driving-wise, and the order of the stops that I wanted to make. And day one, I stuck to my plan, perfect. Starting with day two, I changed up my plan, which I also feel like is very representative of having autism and ADHD. Okay, so first up, we have Friends and Fiberworks Yarn Shop. This is a shop that has a giant selection of yarn and tools and stuff. It's really great for if you need something quickly, chances are they have it in stock. One of the things that I love about Friends and Fiberworks is they carry my favorite crochet hooks, the Tulip Etimo Red. And honestly, I don't think I've come across another local yarn shop that carries those in stock. Usually you have to order them online. So love that they carry those. I also love that they carry Hedgehog Fibers and Emma's Yarn, because I love those yarn companies and those yarn dyers. They, you know, I love pastels and neons and variegated and speckled. Like, just give me all the colors. I love that. So I love that they carry those yarn companies. I wish they carried a little bit more in of each of them in their DK weight, but I have come around to sock weight, fingering weight yarn. So the unique yarns that I got from Friends and Fiberworks are these 3 little mini skeins here. These were custom made, custom dyed for Friends and Fiberworks. So 2 of these are part of a colorway called Keep Asheville Weird. So that's these 2. So Keep Asheville Weird. And then this one is Local Yarn Shop and Crawl 2025. So I got these 3 to put in my blanket, and I really like these. They're crazy, and nothing screams Keep Asheville Weird quite like this skein does. Now, these are not like my normal colors, but it's Asheville, so I love it. So next up, I went to Maggie Valley Yarn Shop, and that is located in Maggie Valley, North Carolina. And it's about, I think, an hour from Asheville. And I love this shop because for many reasons. The view from this yarn shop is amazing. Like, I mean, who among us doesn't dream of opening a local yarn shop? And like the ideal setting for me is to have a place where people can stitch together outside, enjoying like a beautiful view. And this shop delivers. Like, it's across this beautiful creek or river, I'm not sure, and the beautiful rhododendrons, and it's just it's amazing. You can hear the water, and for my moving water autistics out there like myself, that is a big thing for me. I love being near moving water, like waterfalls, rivers, creeks, the ocean. I just love it. It puts me in such a like zen place, and I absolutely love stitching outside, and it's just a wonderful setting. And the shop itself is physically small, but they carry a lot of good stuff, and they also rearranged recently, and they have such a great organizational like flow to the shop now, and it's awesome. And they also carry a lot of some of my favorite yarn dyers, like Emma's Yarn, well, it was hand dyed Diva, or I'm not sure, but now they also carry Wool Tribe Yarn, which is a local North Carolina yarn dyer. And they actually recently moved from Charlotte up to, I believe, the West Jefferson area. And they created a custom colorway for the Maggie Valley Yarn Shop. And I absolutely love this color. This color perfectly represents, I feel like, our region, the Blue Ridge Parkway, the Blue Ridge Mountains. Look at how absolutely stunning this yarn is. This looks exactly like all the colors that it keeps in mind for me, like in these sunrise and sunset photos that I'm able to capture on the Blue Ridge Parkway here in Asheville. Because it has the different shades of blue, the pink, and then the green from all the trees and stuff. This is just, I absolutely love this colorway, and I wish I could have bought more, but I'm on a budget, so I kept it to just this one skein. But I love this colorway, and it worked up really beautiful. There was a sample in the shop, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. So I really loved it. And it's Wool Tribe yarn, and it was custom dyed for Maggie Valley Yarn Shop's birthday 2024 when they celebrated, I believe it was 10 years in business. I'll have to double check on that. But look at this. Look at that. And it's very soft, and it's just wonderful. I just think it's the perfect representation of the Blue Ridge Mountains and the Blue Ridge Parkway, which I'm obsessed with, as you know. The other thing that I got at Maggie Valley Yarn Shop, because I just couldn't help myself, are these little Emma's Yarn mini skeins. They won't be going in my blanket because they are the super silky ones, so they're not the same, fiber type blend as the rest of my blanket. And also I'm trying to stick with just unique colorways to that shop for each one, and these are Emma's Yarn, so but they're lovely and they're beautiful. Look at these pinks. I love these pinks, so I had to get these, and I'm obsessed with them. The other last thing that I got that the lovely owner included for me was the little Maggie Valley Yarn Shop sticker. Look how cute that is. And then here is a removable Maggie Valley wooden stitch marker. There we go. So I really loved these, and they're just a really nice touch when you're going on a yarn crawl, because I'll always remember this now when I pull this out to use for my projects. So next up we have in Franklin, North Carolina, the Silver Threads and Golden Needles local yarn shop. And it's such a really cute shop. It's right downtown. Franklin has this adorable downtown. There's some great restaurants there, and there's also like a Scottish tartan museum. So if you're interested in that, they've got that. But Franklin's great. We always like making a trip over there. The drive over is beautiful in and of itself. And there's a really great restaurant across the street. I can't remember the name of it right now, but it's really great. So at Silver Threads, I got the, I believe this was the Crawl Made colorway made specifically for Silver Threads and Golden Needles by the Fiber Fairy. And it's this colorway is called Rainbow After the Storm, which was the theme of this year's crawl. So here, take a look. Beautiful. This was great. I also picked up, and it's filled now with my project, but the latest, I think this is like the newest iteration of the Della Q bags. I'm working on the Getty tee right now. So that's in there. And if you'll notice, I did not mean to coordinate these colors, like my yarn color here and the bag. They're like the exact same shade of pink. I did not mean to do that. I just love pink. So when I'm looking at getting something, I'm always like, well, does this come in pink or purple? And I'm just always gonna get the pink because that's my favorite color. So one of the things that I also love about Silver Threads is that they have a lot of different indie dyers and stuff like Bad Sheep yarn, and also that was the first place that I found out about Ruby and Rose's yarn, and I really love Addie's yarn from Ruby and Roses. Her Taylor Swift collection was amazing. I'm a massive fan of her colorway Lover, Addie's version, because I am a huge fan of speckled yarns, and it's pink and it's bright and it's rainbow, and I love it. It's awesome. And they were the first shop that I ever discovered her yarn in. I really loved it. I was like, this is beautiful. And then I looked up Ruby and Rose's yarn online and started following Addie and stuff. So I love that about that shop. They are the shop that I first discovered Ruby and Rose's yarn, which is one of my favorite yarns now. So. So, day 2 of the crawl, and I'm already changing my plans. And I blame Black Mountain Yarn Shop for this because I was checking my emails the morning of what would be my day 2 of the yarn crawl, and I saw that they got in a new shipment of La Bien en May's Merino DK, and I love La Bien yarn. It's beautiful, it's gorgeous, the quality is amazing. It is more expensive because it's hand dyed and made in Paris, France. So yeah, it costs a little bit more, but I will say the quality is there to back that up. So it's an amazing yarn and I love it. So I was like, oh, and so not only did they get in a shipment of La Bien en May's yarn, because they always have it, so it's great, but they had Amy's colorway Millennial Pink and High Key Purple, and I have been eyeing these colors forever because this is the color. Millennial Pink. I am obsessed. And here is the color. I did the high key purple for the granny squares. So this is the Getty tee by Tanis Fiber Arts. And it's funny because this is going to be my first official finished object knit garment. I feel like I could have explained that a little bit better and more concisely, but this will be my first official finished object knitted garment. And the reason I'm saying that like that is because I have a bunch of whips where I've been practicing and stuff and practicing my knitting and my techniques and stuff. And I'm one of those people who I like to practice stuff first before I start using the good yarn and stuff. So I knew that I wanted to make the Getty tee when I saw that they had this yarn available, because the Getty tee, I love any project that unites the crafts. So anything that unites knitting, crochet, Tunisian crochet, spinning, quilting, I love all that. So yeah, I was really excited. So I changed my plans for day 2. Of course I did, right? Like, that's having autism and ADHD. I make a super detailed plan and then the ADHD kicks in and impulse, and I'm like, okay, we're gonna mix this up a little bit. But so I got the email that they had some of this in, and I was like, oh, well, it's the yarn crawl, so I better go and get some before they sell out. So I decided to mix up and change my plan. So I went to Oh Susanna's, and this is a local yarn shop in Morganton, North Carolina. The view is amazing to drive there. Again, you've got like these beautiful, gorgeous rolling hills. It's a really cute downtown. It really kind of evokes around here. See, this is why I love this area. Western North Carolina is one of the most beautiful places in the world, and it's so underrated. I constantly feel like when we're driving and stuff, I'm like, oh my God, I feel like I'm in the Shire. You know, like we have these beautiful, gorgeous rolling hills, the mountains. It's a beautiful place. I love it here. But anyways, so Morganton, North Carolina, Oh Susanna's Yarn on Union. And the owner actually dyes her own yarn in addition to carrying other yarn as well. She has a very great selection of extremely soft cotton yarn. And I am someone who does not usually like to work with cotton yarn because it like hurts my joints, it's not very stretchy, and it's typically very rough and gritty and sands-like and dry. And so I can't really get on board with it. But I will say I absolutely loved her cotton yarn. I don't know what is done to this yarn to make it so soft, but it's wonderful and I absolutely loved it. And this colorway here is part of her hand-dyed collection. And I chose this because I feel like it really represents this region, the Blue Ridge Mountains, with the beautiful different shades of blue and green and, you know, a little bit of pink and purple and yellow, which are really evident in any type of sunrise or sunset here in the Blue Ridge Mountains. The colors that we get are just astounding and beautiful. So I really like this yarn, and I hope to get some of her cotton yarn to make another summer tee or tank top soon. So, but I was unfortunately on a budget and I had to reel it in, okay? So stop number 2 was the Black Mountain Yarn Shop in Black Mountain, North Carolina. And this is one of my favorite local yarn shops because they carry the type of yarn that I absolutely adore. The Wandering Flock, La Bien Aimée, Lavender Loon. I love these yarns. And I actually, I found out about them. Yeah, La Bien Aimée and the Wandering Flock. I had never heard of them or worked with them before I had shopped at the Black Mountain Yarn Shop. And also I love Black Mountain. It's a small town just outside of Asheville, about 20 minutes. And it is the most adorable downtown. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Stars Hollow from Gilmore Girls. And they have great parks and trails there. Like, we go there a lot on the weekends. And so I end up stopping and shopping at the Black Mountain Yarn Shop a lot. They are a staple for me, and I go there quite often because I actually don't live too far from them, about 25-minute drive. So, yeah. So I went to the Black Mountain Yarn Shop, and I already showed you this, but the Millennial Pink and the High Key Purple from La Bien Aimée to make the Getty Tee by Tanis Fiber Arts. So I'm working on that right now. And then I also got this really cool little custom tote bag that they made for their local yarn shop day. It's really cute. I love it. And so the colors that I got, so the yarn I got for my blanket here. So first up, we have their custom colorway from Spin Cycle, which I feel like a broken record. I just keep talking about how this yarn is representative of this area, but it really is. This is called First Light, and it technically is a sport weight, but honestly, I feel like it's thin enough to blend in perfectly with my blanket. So I got this to use because I wanted something that was unique to that shop, or a locally dyed yarn. So this was First Light by Spin Cycle, dyed specifically for the Black Mountain Yarn Shop. And if you know Spin Cycle yarns, you know that each skein can really vary in the types of colors represented. So I looked for the pinkest one I could find because I love pink. And I'm extremely happy with this. I absolutely love this. It's beautiful. I feel like it's very representative of the region, and it's great. So if you want this colorway, it's a Black Mountain Yarn Shop exclusive. So, and they do like shipping and stuff. So you should check out their website, which also reminds me, I will link all of the shops down below. The other thing that I got from the Black Mountain Yarn Shop are these little mini skeins that I plan on putting in my blanket as well. These are hand dyed by Renee, who works at the Black Mountain Yarn Shop. She's their resident crocheter. She makes wonderful bandanas, the granny square chickens in the Spin Cycle yarn, which I love. I love that. Why don't we do that more? I mean, I know hand-dyed yarn is very expensive compared to the type of yarn that we usually get from Joann's and Michael's to make amigurumi, but for something that's like a keepsake that you're gonna keep personally, I love that. I've even started making a loaf cat in Malabrigo Rosalinda chunky yarn, so stay tuned for that. I really do need to finish that one. That's been on ice for a while. But anyways, my whole point is, it also, the Spin Cycle yarn, yeah, typically it's a very expensive yarn, but if you have scraps left over from a project or something, how cute would it be to make the little granny square chicken out of that? I love it. And it's unique and it's fun and it's a keepsake for you. So I love that. But Renee is so wonderful and I love her style. Her and I, man, like we have the same color palette, taste and everything. Like we both love pink. We love the bright colors. We love the pastels. Like, oh yeah. So I had to include some of Renee's hand-dyed mini skeins in my blanket because she's great. The whole Black Mountain Yarn Shop staff is great. And yeah, so I'm excited to add these to my blanket. Also, the other thing that I really love about the Black Mountain Yarn Shop is the layout of the store, there is a lot of natural light. They have really big windows, and so you can see the yarn very well. I don't know about you, but how many yarn shops have you been in where you're like, oh, I can't see this yarn very well. Like, I don't know if this color, like this lighting and stuff is going to be very color accurate. They have wonderful natural lighting, and the store is laid out very well. It's spread out. It's not overwhelming, and yeah, I just like the way that it's laid out. They have a great setup in their like living room to sit and stitch, and a big table for classes or one-on-one lessons. So it's a really great shop, and I go there quite often. So I love the Black Mountain Yarn Shop.
Yesterday there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane. And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise. And now there's something in the air and a sparkly shimmer on our skin, restoring everything within. Oh, dreamy, breezy, we go. Easy, easy on our tiptoes, undercover agents of the other. Beyond gravel, beyond all. Hand in hand, building castles out of sand, reaching for the grand. As willows align, we lose track of time. Head up high, now we climb.
So the next stop, so this would be my third stop on the second day, overall 6th yarn shop, was Pearl's Yarn Emporium here in Asheville, North Carolina. What I love about Pearl's is they're very welcoming. They do a lot of great craftivism stuff and social justice causes and stuff, and I absolutely love that. They also are part of the, they have a free period pantry, and they do so much for the community. Pearls, I picked up a few needles and a crochet hook, and I picked up, they had one mini skein left. And so I picked this up, and this was specifically dyed for the Western North Carolina yarn crawl, actually from last year. So this was the last skein, and it's this beautiful yellow, kind of still blending in with all the jewel tones and stuff that I have gotten from the others. Like, for example, here was the Fiber Fairy from Silver Threads, which I feel like the yellow picks up perfectly here. So that's great. That goes well together. And then also, I absolutely love this, but Pearls had these Western North Carolina yarn crawl pins made. I don't know if you guys can see that, but I love this. This is so cute. And I love just putting these on my project bag. So yeah, I love Pearls. They have a good selection of Malabrigo and Manos del Uruguay and the Alpaca Yarn Company. I get a lot of the alpaca yarn from there. I love their yarn because alpaca is my absolute favorite fiber to work with, and they have really great colors. They are so lovely and nice in there. When you walk into their shop, I feel like you get very much homey vibes.
It was a fire, our house, our dreams. We were dancing on a wire, reckless it seemed. We found holes in these walls. We like what we saw. Seems so strong until it falls. The final straw. Oh, I never felt like this before.
I, again, did not stick to my plan and I was very tired and worn out after day 2 of the crawl because I had already went to half the shops within 2 days. So that's 6 shops. So I decided to stay local and I went downtown Asheville where the Asheville, North Carolina Home Crafts store is located, and they have a lot of yarn and fiber from local farmers and local wool. And one of the mini skein that I got from this shop is this absolutely stunning pink and purple. I love it, and I think it will fit in perfectly with my blanket. But anyways, it's really soft. I love this color, and it's SS mini sock yarn. And I did ask them who dyed this and like if it was local. And I don't remember the name off the top of my head right now, but I will look it up and put it here at the bottom. But it is locally dyed by a local dyer to North Carolina. So Asheville, North Carolina Home Crafts store is located in this really cool place in downtown Asheville called the Grove Arcade. And it's a historic building. It's beautiful. There's wonderful little shops and restaurants and coffee shops in there. And it's a wonderful place. If you come to visit Asheville, I highly recommend going in there, especially for like, if you come here and it's a rainy day or something but you still want to like walk around and stuff, it's a great little place to go in and just explore. It's beautiful, these high ceilings. It's very much like, I feel like giving Art Deco and stuff. It's beautiful. I love Asheville, and the Grove Arcade is really cool for that.
Where did the time go? How do we move so far away? Holding on, how much can we both take when love is an echo? I can't hear what you're saying when love is an echo. I can't hear what you're saying.
So I was exhausted, the traffic was a little rough, and I decided to be done for the rest of the day. And so that left all the shops left on Saturday. So let's get started into my day 4. We went to the Briar Patch, which is located in Hendersonville, North Carolina. And Andrew, the owner and dyer, is amazing. He's so fun. He's so nice. And he recently expanded his store from just a smaller little building to joining in with the next door, the coffee shop. So he's like living that's like the dream, right? Yarn and coffee shop. So we went in, my husband and I, and we got some coffee, we shopped, we chatted with other crawlers, and I had to whittle down what I was going to buy because I really wanted to get a bunch of different stuff. Andrew is a very talented dyer and has some really cool yarn and very unique fibers. This one cotton that he has is absolutely amazing, and he had some gorgeous pink colors in it. And I definitely want to, it's on my, I'm keeping it in the back of my mind for a summer tee or tank top, because it's really soft and lightweight, and he did a wonderful job with the colors. I guess it's a very labor intensive dyeing process, and it takes a long time to dye it. So definitely check it out. And I absolutely love his colorways. And so because Andrew himself is a dyer and now a local yarn shop owner, I had to get some of his yarn. And I'm usually a big fan of his Hera colorway. I have a few of those skeins in different yarn weights, but I wanted to get something different and something that would fit in a little bit more with the rest of my blanket. And so I chose this color here, Persephone, because of the green and the blues and like the speckled, a little bit of pink and stuff. I figured this would fit in really well with the rest of my blanket for the crawl. So I really love this colorway. Funny story, I heard about Andrew's yarn from Charlotte Yarn. It's a local yarn shop in Charlotte, North Carolina, which when we go to Charlotte, which is about 2 hours away, I always stop in there because they're so lovely. They're so nice. The owner, she is just like the sweetest person. And she was carrying Andrew's yarn, the Briar Patch Fiber Company. That's how I first learned about Andrew. And for some reason in my mind, when I found out about it, I thought his name was Brian for a while. I guess Briar Patch, Brian. But yeah, so funny story. And so when I got to meet Andrew, it was really great. So Andrew is really nice, super welcoming, and he wants to make sure to include other people who can't maybe necessarily afford hand-dyed yarn. So he has really great options in his store. He carries some more budget-friendly yarns, and he has this really cool program of like take a skein, leave a skein, which is really amazing. And I love that local yarn shops are trying to be more inclusive of more budget-friendly options, which is really important, especially with the loss of Joann's. There is an opportunity here and an opening in the market for local yarn shops. And I love seeing people like Andrew, a local yarn shop owner, trying to be more inclusive and make crafting more accessible to people. So I love that. The coffee was really good. You cannot beat the ambiance of this little village here. They have a leather workshop, a smith, a bakery. The leather workshop, I can't remember the name of it, but I'll put it here below. They made a like leather map of the Lord of the Rings map. So like Middle Earth and stuff. It's incredible. And I mean, the talent to create something like that, it's just astounding. I love seeing stuff like that. And this region is filled with very talented artisans. So you should check it out. The next stop that we made was in Brevard, and this is the Sun Dragon yarn shop in Brevard, North Carolina. Brevard is an adorable small town just outside of Asheville, and they're known for their white squirrels. And the Sun Dragon yarn shop, they are so nice and so sweet. They also had a local, to them, unique to them, colorway dyed by Yarn Baby, which I love Yarn Baby yarns. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll remember that I bought some yarn that was called Feminine Rage, and I absolutely loved it. And the US Post Office lost it. Yeah, they lost my Feminine Rage. I know that's a dad joke, but I'll never get tired of making it. So, but anyways, I love Yarn Baby yarns. Yarn Baby dyed a few different colorways that were specific and exclusive to the Sun Dragon yarn shop. And the one that I chose to get for my blanket is this gorgeous green and blue with a little hints of pink and purple and yeah, a little bit of a brighter, yeah, that's a green, not yellow. And the reason that I chose this colorway, well, because it goes well with the other colorways I picked out, was I love the name of it. It's called The Mountains Are Calling, which I love because I've felt like that for a very long time. When we discovered Asheville and came to Western North Carolina for the first time, I just felt very drawn to this place. And you know, when we lived in DC for about 5 years, I just we dreamed of retiring one day to Asheville, but we're lucky enough to get remote jobs that allowed us to move down here sooner than retirement. So this colorway was really special to me, and I really love the colors. It's gonna go well with the rest of my blanket, and it's beautiful. Now, they also did have a yarn that was called the White Squirrel Shuffle, which I also loved and really wanted to get it. I really did. And I went back and forth between the two for a while. I couldn't decide. And finally, I just decided that this goes better with the rest of the blanket. They also had another exclusive colorway for the yarn crawl. And when I got there, there was actually only 2 skeins left. And I did like that colorway as well, but The Mountains Are Calling, that's just something that I had to get because it was a personal thing. But the other thing, and I was supposed to only stick to getting 1 mini skein or a full-size skein at each shop, but I did not follow through on that because I discovered a new cotton yarn I love, and I got it in 2 different colors, and I'm gonna make either a tee or a tank top with it. I got 2 of each color. How awesome are these colors? I love this. And this might be some of the softest cotton yarn I've ever touched. It's Sammy by Amano Yarns, and it's 100% organic Peruvian Pima cotton. So I broke my own rule and I ended up getting some 4 skeins of this, but look how pretty it is. And I love pink, and it's so soft. And that's the thing, is cotton is so hard for me to find one that I like. So when I saw this and I felt it, I was like, this is amazing. I will love working with this. And I'm the type of person where I'm a process person. So if I don't enjoy making it, I won't make it. I will stop and frog it. Or the more realistic thing is I will stop, put it in a bin, and frog it like a year later. I call it my shame basket. But that was Sun Dragon, and I really like them. They're very friendly. They have a bunch of different types of yarn. They have a wide selection. They have a great notion selection as well. And yeah, they're really nice. They're really friendly. They're a great little shop.
I just wanna go out on a walk with you. Baby, you know I just like to talk with you. You don't have to tell me anything that's new. I just wanna go out on a walk with you. just wanna see your shadow next to mine, sailing over pavement with our two wild minds. I like to see the shape you're in from time to time. I just wanna see your shadow next to mine. I just wanna see the same things you can see, understand the meaning on a new degree. Maybe that could happen when you're next to me. I just wanna see the same things you can see.
So the next stop on the yarn crawl is Yummy Yarns in Burnsville, North Carolina. And Burnsville has a really cute downtown. It is higher in elevation, and so they have much more mild and cooler summers. And it's also where Mount Mitchell is located, and Mount Mitchell is the highest point east of the Mississippi. So I believe it's about between 5,000 and 6,000 feet of elevation. It's a wonderful, awesome place to go. There's great trails, great hikes for all abilities and stuff. Like, you can go to Mount Mitchell and there's a paved pathway up to the highest point, which is it's very cool. I highly recommend it when it reopens. Unfortunately, Mount Mitchell and parts of the Blue Ridge surrounding it are still closed due to the effects of Hurricane Helene. So, but keep an eye out because it's wonderful. So at Yummy Yarns, it's in this really cute downtown space. And I went in there and I was looking for like a local, unique colorway to add to my blanket. And I got this really great, this is an exclusively dyed for Yummy Yarns by Twisted Ambitions Yarn. And again, I just feel like it is so representative of our area. And this, it's called LYS. That's the name of the colorway, which is funny because it's called Yummy Yarns. And so this was an exclusive colorway for Yummy Yarns, and I got this because it will fit in perfectly with my blanket. Also, the amazing thing about Yummy Yarns is the owner gave out door prizes to people who made a purchase, I believe. And so I actually got this really cool, it's by Addie. I got this really cool needles, Addie art. So I think it's like a special edition or something. And so it like opens like this, and I'll show you. And it's, oops. Yeah, so it's this cool like needle set, and it's called, so Addie Art Diamond, and it is a 80 centimeter, 10 millimeter needle. And apparently these here are Swarovski crystals. So how cool is that? I got this as a free prize. And I love Addie. They're so far my favorite one. And I don't have any chunky needles for chunky yarn. So I was really excited about this. And what a cool and unique needle set. So I was really excited about this, and just a big shout out to the Yummy Yarns yarn shop for having such cool door prizes. Oh shoot, that reminds me. I won a door prize at Black Mountain and I need to go pick it up. I totally forgot. So the last stop of the Western North Carolina Yarn Crawl was the Fiber Fest put on by Local Cloth. I loved this because it was like kind of like a tiny micro Rhinebeck, because there were a bunch of farmers there and they had their fiber from their sheep and alpaca. And so as I was browsing, this is one of those times where I'm browsing and I usually have a rule for myself of I need to look at everything first and then I make my decision on what I'm going to buy. And I broke my own rule when I saw this. Look at these colors. They're so fun. I love this. And it's alpaca, which is my favorite fiber to work with. It's not itchy at all. It's very soft, very springy, and I just love alpaca. They're wonderful creatures. And so it is, so it's 100% alpaca. It's a 2-ply DK, 200 yards, and the colorway is sherbet, which is also, I feel like, very appropriate. And it is by On Again, Off Again Farm, and it is located in Spartanburg, South Carolina. So just one more quick look. I love this color. It's so pretty. I like stopped in my tracks, broke my own rule, and got this. So I can't wait. I think I'm gonna make a cowl or something out of this. I don't know. We'll see. I just love and it feels so springy and squishy. Beautiful. I love it. The other purchase that I got, which I was so excited when I saw that they were there, Two Roots Alpaca. And if you follow Nitty Natty and watch her YouTube videos, that name should sound familiar to you because she went and did one of her like yarn tours there. And so I was very familiar with them and I was so excited, and I met them. I was like, oh my gosh, I know you from Nitty Natty's videos. And also just a real quick shout out to Nitty Natty. I love your videos because they are so helpful to autistic people, because one of the like number one thing that I do in going to a new place or any type of fiber or yarn event is for autistic people, we like to scope things out ahead of time to know what to expect. And I watch her videos in helping me prepare. Like before I went to Rhinebeck last year for the first time, I watched a bunch of her Rhinebeck videos and stuff. And it's really helpful to me to know what to expect. So really great. I love that. I very much appreciate those videos. But so anyways, Two Roots Alpaca. I had to get something from them, and they did have, yeah, I think they did have yarn. I don't know. Once I saw this, I like forgot about everything else. Look at this. It is so pretty. And you guys, it feels like a cloud. I cannot, like, it's just, oh, I love to squish it. It's beautiful. There's all these different speckles of colors, but with like an overarching pinky purple. And I feel like I'm holding a piece of a cloud. It's wonderful. I loved it. They were so great. I got to see the owners. They had this adorable Australian shepherd dog who really wanted some belly scratches and stuff. So we, just an adorable dog, but we really enjoyed it and absolutely love this. And if you follow me on Instagram, you will know that this is the second fiber that I have purchased, even though I do not know how to spin yet. So it's on my list to learn how to spin. And so now I have fiber now to work with to do that when I'm ready to. I think what I will do is take a spinning class at Local Cloth. I am a Local Cloth member, and so I think I will take a spinning class there when they are available. So the Fiber Fest was great because they had all these local artists and fiber artists, and knitters and crocheters selling their makes, along with people who make clothing, project bags. There were also these really adorable Angora bunnies that reminded me so much of my two cats. But they were so cute. And I always love going and seeing the animals that provide our wool and our yarn. So it was a nice little experience, and I got to talk to some great local farmers and dyers, and it was just wonderful. And they had this like bluegrass band, and it was lovely. It was wonderful. So that was the 2025 Western North Carolina Yarn Crawl. I had a wonderful time. I got to meet some new people and connect with people I wouldn't otherwise connect with. And I got some really great yarn. I went in with a goal this year, with a project in mind, which made shopping a lot better. I didn't end up with any random, I did end up with one random skein, but it can be used for a cowl. Do you see how I justify these things? Anyways, I really encourage you to go to your local yarn shops, support them, and go and attend any type of yarn crawl or fiber festival, even if you've never attended one before. Especially if you love yarn and knitting, crocheting, spinning, all of that good stuff. It's a really fun experience to connect with people who feel as passionately as you do about this craft. It was also really important for me this year. I wanted to honor the shops and our region because this was the first yarn crawl after Hurricane Helene. I'm very excited to make my blanket, and it's gonna be a funky bunch of colors, but that's the perfect way to represent this region and the wonderful shops that make up Western North Carolina. So I'm really excited to get started on my blanket, and I will keep you posted on my progress.